Hello and welcome to Season 3 of the Gauntlet of Greatness. I'm Randy Buehler, joined by Shadow Datella. How are things, Shadow?
Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. We are back to historical standard decks for this season of the Gauntlet of Greatness. So we've got 16 of the best decks in the history of Standard. Group A happens to have 4 old school decks. All of these are from the first 5 years of the Pro Tour. So I, for one, will feel right at home. Rounding out the rest of the tournament, Group B, little more modern, kind of the middle decade of the Pro Tour, if you will. Group C has, Callblade got in there, Survival Recur got voted in by the fans. That should be an interesting group. And then Group D got some craziness here. Zvi Bargain, Turbo Stasis, Black Devotion trying to represent from last year's Standard. Should be a fun tournament. The way this is going to work is that we are going to play each of these groups of 4 is going to advance the top 2 into a top 8 playoff. We're not going to play complete round robin, though, because the tiebreakers get all weird. So we'll play 2 rounds of Swiss, essentially, and then we'll have an 0-2 deck, which is out. We'll have a 2-0 deck, which advances, and then the 2 1-1s will play each other for the second spot. So essentially, it's double elimination inside each of the groups. The first match, though, this is an interesting one. We'll see how this goes. It's going to be Tinker versus Rebels, which means it's Finkel versus Kai. John Finkel won Worlds with this Tinker deck. Kai Bude won Pro Tour Chicago just a couple of months later with this Rebel deck. So, yeah, definitely some historical pedigree here. You look at the Rebel deck. I honestly expected this deck to get relegated out of the first season we did of the Gauntlet of Greatness, and it actually made the playoffs. It got second place in a group that included a Tolarian Academy deck, which we've now retired to the Hall of Fame. So, deck may look like a dorky creature deck, 2/2s for 2, Ramosian Sergeant, 1/3 for 3, gray ogre-sized creatures. May look like a dorky creature deck, but it's definitely got some game. Every one of these searchers can put an entire army into play. That's how the Rebel mechanic works. Parallax Wave is also very powerful at just preventing the opponent from, blocking, attacking, doing important things like that. So, we'll see. There's also, decent amount of artifact removal in the sideboard hanging out with these Seal of Cleansing. So a little bit more game after sideboarding. The Tinker deck, though, this is from just a more broken era of Standard. This is the last major tournament that included any cards from the Urza Saga block. So most of the random crazy stuff from Urza Saga, the combo cards, had been banned by this point. Memory Jar, which won our first season of the Gauntlet of Greatness, that deck banned. It was only legal for 3 or 4 weeks. But they left Tinker in, and the fast mana is still kind of in. Key, Monolith, Thran Dynamo, Metalworker. None of the 2-mana lands. There's no Ancient Tombs or City of Traders at this point in Standard. You can kind of fake it with Saprazan Scary, but it not quite as good. That said, the ability to tinker for big one-ofs, like having a Crumbling Sanctuary so that you have all the time to exploit your fast mana, having a Helix to lock them down, having Phyrexian Colossus, which is really hard to block and can be untapped by Voltaic Key. It's not as broken as the earlier Saga block decks, but this is Saga plus Mercadian Masks, not Saga plus Tempest. And good enough to win John Finkel the World Championships. It was actually a mirror match in the finals. Played just a spectacular match against Bob Maher. So that's our first matchup. Tinker against Rebels. I will go set us up. We're going constructed, open play, getting serious. Freeform is the only format where these decks are legal nowadays. And let's make sure we don't have to worry about the clock. All right, I have hosted a match. Come fight me.
Yep, I have to turn it on to turn off Standard.
Sure. All right, once we get into the match, I will mute Shadow. We'll chat some more after the match, but I want to be able to talk through my plays without...
You're in constructed open getting serious, is that true?
Yes.
Oh, I have to turn off 25-minute clock. There we go. And then I pick the deck.
Good luck.
Yep, good luck, sir.
See if Tinker is as broken as we all remember. All right. Here we go. What do I got? There's my blue mana. I mean, I got a Masticore. I don't have a Tinker, but I've got a pretty quick Masticore, right? I go turn 2 Metalworker, turn 3 Masticore, and shoot something? That seems good enough. Yeah, Brainstorm, not as ridiculous in a format with no reshuffle effects. Tinker is actually the only reshuffle effect. Now my Metalworker just got better. Maybe easier to gun things down now. Rashad and Port from him would actually be kind of annoying, but what are you going to do? Would I Brainstorm if he ports me? Oh, he doesn't have a port. Great. He has a 2/2 Dork off a brush land. I can live with that. Wow. Okay. Well, I can only make 4 mana this turn, so we'll save the ridiculousnesses for next turn. Yeah, this is just Metalworker. I mean, hypothetically, I could sack Crystal Vein in order to Brainstorm in addition, but it doesn't seem particularly good, especially with no reshuffle effect. So I'll just play a Metalworker, and we'll figure it out next turn. I mean, Masticore with solid mana is good against him, so it may be that I just Tinker for Thran Dynamo. Or I mean, I guess I can just use Metalworker as my mana. I mean, I can Tinker for a Colossus, but he has no Armageddon effects in his main deck. He does have Port. Okay. So he can port my Scary. Or he can play Linsivy. Island. Great. So, how do we play this? I feel like I just start gunning his stuff down with Masticore. I mean, if I Tinker, it would get Phyrexian Colossus, but I don't need to race. And if he comes up with Parallax Wave, then racing is bad. Getting a Processor, also vulnerable to Parallax Waves. Yeah, I just want to set up to Masticore. So I have 2, 3, 4, possibly 5 mana. I can Metalworker make 6. That's 11. I can get 12 if I sack the Crystal Vein. 2, 4, 5. No, I already sacked the Crystal Vein. I'm getting to 11. So I have 10 mana. It sounds like Masticore killed Linsivy. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, what if I just Masticore and kill Linsivy? I won't have Regeneration up, but he doesn't have Disenchants in his main deck either. I think it's Masticore kill Linsivy. The only question is whether I want to throw a Brainstorm in. I'd have to sack my Crystal Vein, and I kind of need mana. So no. I will reveal 3 artifacts to make 6 mana. I will play Masticore. I will play an island. I will kill Linsivy. Good enough. I'm done with my turn 3. And Urza Saga was just, this was a different time for Magic. I mean, you think about the way the history of Magic plays out. Tempest is kind of fast. Urza Saga, they go ridiculous with the combo decks. Mercadian Masks, they clearly took a step back and tried to, oh, he's got Giant Growths in his deck. I'm not going to block here. Although, I mean, I have another Masticore. Is it even that bad if I trade my Masticore for a Giant Growth and a Steadfast Guard? Doesn't seem that bad. Yeah, I don't want to mess with... Fine, show me the Giant Growth. It's still a 2-for-1, and you can't cast 2 of them. You've only got 1 green mana. I'll take the 2-for-1, and then I don't have to discard on my to upkeep the Masticore, and I have a replacement in my hand. Waxwane is the giant growth in question. But I'm okay with that. Now what's he got? Chimeric Idol. Oh, a processor. So I can make 6 mana. Is this just processor and activate it? Leaving up a brainstorm? He's at 18. I think this is processor and activated. The question is, how much life do I pay? Again, Parallax Wave is the only thing I'm concerned about. So I could get 7. He's at 17. I could make 9 9s, but then that puts me at 9. I'll just make 6 6s. Yeah, it's a little bit safe, but there's no way I'm losing this game, so I don't feel the need to gamble with my life total. Great. Now we can tap 4 mana and make a 6/6 every turn. That sounds like fun. Define Vanguard, sure. Oh, I like Green Dynamo. I like lots of these cards. Man, Metalworker's pretty good, huh? Green Dynamo is better off in play. Yeah, I probably want to shoot that down, right? So I have 5, 6, 7. I have 8 mana, which is enough to Mastercore and shoot that down. Does not activate processor if I do it that way. So do I just trade? I can also go get the Colossus. I can do all kinds of things. I can tinker. Tinker for Colossus? I can tinker for Colossus and also activate processor. Too many options. I just want to keep making stuff. You want to trade for Vanguard? I'm okay with that. Yeah, let's do it this way. GL. Yeah. To the sideboard. Tinker up a game. This matchup looks crazy. Amazing what difference a couple of months. Just getting the rest of the Saga block out of Standard. Yeah, so Saga, they obviously went nuts and made a bunch of combo cards they didn't really understand. The development team was just not up to snuff by modern standards, is the honest truth. I'm okay with this personally because it got me my job at Wizards. You know, I was one of the guys on the Pro Tour abusing these cards. And basically right around the time the Saga block, right around the time Mercadian Masks got published, I said yes to a job in R&D and went in and helped them get sort of guys who were capable of playing at the top of the Pro Tour inside the house. I essentially switched teams and started breaking the cards after they'd been published instead of before. So I don't like Tanglewire against him because he can spend all his mana during his upkeep. It doesn't really lock him down that much. Rising Waters, meanwhile, is insanely good against... the Rebels, on the one hand, he can't abuse Rebels, but it also makes his Chimeric Idols just bad. So definitely want Rising Waters. I like Annuls because I want to counter Seal of Cleansing and I want to counter Parallax Wave. And then I feel like I can cheat by shave a Brainstorm since I don't really reshuffle. It's really just the Tinkers. So I don't know what the right number of Annuls is, but I'm going to play it this way. And we'll see what happens. Yeah, I feel like design on Magic got good very fast. I mean, obviously, the design on Alpha is insanely good. They were able to bring in a second generation of top-notch designers, I think, quicker than they were able to bring in a bunch of good developers. I mean, the guys they had were decent. But yeah, I was the beginning of a wave of development hires off the Pro Tour, and then helped put a lot of processes in place that are still helping the game today. A lot of the guys there now are guys that I hired, in fact. Do I keep this? These 2 cards are great. I have no fast mana, though. Huh. I feel like these cards are so good against him that I can keep this even without fast mana. I'm going to try it. On the draw, too. See what happens if I play a game without a turn 2 Metalworker. Seems more fair for him somehow. Sure. It's just a hold key because I might draw Metalworker? Is that possible? I feel like there's value in having something I can tinker away on turn 3 if I top deck 1. Port your port. Welcome back to 1999. Upkeep, port your port. Yep. Those were fun times. Guess I better set a stop on his upkeep so I can do this awesome play. Yeah. Lincivi is actually the one efficient rebel. She's 1 in tap to get a 1/1. Everybody else, you have to pay more mana than the CMC of the thing you're getting. She only costs... You have to pay 2 more, right? Sergeant is 3 to search for a 2. But she's more efficient than that. Well, interesting. If I sack Crystal Vein, then I can put Thran Dynamo into play and untap it with Altea Key. So that's clearly the play. Now I have what? I have 5 mana? Well, none of it's blue, so I couldn't play Rising Waters even if I wanted to. So I just play Masticore. And I am exposing it to a Disenchant here, which is less than ideal. It's possible I should just wait a turn. I don't think I like that, though. Because the thing is, I want to kill Lincivi, and if I wait a turn and I play Masticore with Regeneration mana up, then I won't have the mana to kill Lincivi. But he's gone to second main phase, so sweet, we got away with it. No, no Disenchants. Wow. Okay, now what? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 8 mana, so I can Processor and activate it. I can also play a Rising Waters. I can also leave up Masticore to kill Lincivi mana. I don't love Rising Waters given this Masticore plan that I've got going. Especially if I can gun down all the searchers, then so it's not Rising Waters. The question is, I can kill Lincivi and a 1-drop? I think I just 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I just leave 8 mana and plan to kill things with Masticore. If I attack with Masticore, he's going to get Defiant Vanguard. Oh, which I can regenerate from killing. So that's fine. So I can even attack here. His Rebel deck made the playoffs in the last time we tried to put all the best decks in Standard together. Rebels pulled off a couple of upsets. It actually upset the Affinity deck. I thought Affinity was going to make the top 8 out of the Rebel group that included Rebels. I mean, Academy was going to win that group all day. But the Rebel deck pulled off an upset and made it into the playoffs. Don't love its chances against this Tinker deck, though. I mean, I feel like, hypothetically, there are Parallax Wave scenarios that can win it a game, but these games have not looked close so far. And, like, I don't know what he does here, right? Does he just take it? Does he just... I mean, what's he going to get? I guess I need to set a stop on my own end steps so that I can shoot things down before he gets another shot with Lin City. Oh, weird. He is not getting anything? That's not right. He passed on his end step. Why would he pass on his end step? If he's going to pass on his end step, why wouldn't I just let him? He's going to spend no mana because he wants me to commit mana. But that means he's not activating Lin City. Oh, he hasn't yielded yet. Right. I get priority first, of course. Right. What is he getting? Define Vanguard. Right, which is the thing he could, in theory, have blocked with. Five, six. Don't want to port support because I want regeneration mana. Yeah, we have sent 2 decks to the Hall of Fame here on the Gauntlet of Greatness. The Memory Jar deck won Season 1 of Historical Standard decks, even at a first-turn kill in the finals. So it's been retired to the Hall of Fame. Tolarian Academy deck, also honorary member, retired to the Hall of Fame. We do still have combo winner decks, though. We've got Zvi Bargain has entered the fray as a combo winter deck, and what else did we vote in that was combo-y? This Tinker deck is kind of Saga Block combo deck. More Lin Cities. Sure. It's going to attack me with Divine Vanguard. I can live with that. Port your port. Welcome to 1999. Yeah, the Jar deck and Academy, they really are just ridiculous. Like, games were not fun with those decks around. I just keep killing things? Like, he has to run out, right? Don't I just say, okay, fine, you had a replacement Lin City, you're not going to have another one? It's got to be the way I play this. Which means I still don't want this Rising Waters plan. I mean, yeah, I don't think Rising Waters, I don't think this is a Rising Waters game. I don't know. It locks down so much more of his mana than mine. Alright, I'll discard an island for now. Still like having 8 mana. I still might want to discard the island, so yeah, let's just repeat. We went to your upkeep. You just didn't search with Lin City. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to use my port on his upkeep. There's the parallax wave I've been living in fear of. And now suddenly I'm going to be happy about this rising waters. Yep. Can't do anything about that. Sure. Yeah, now it feels like I have this. I can drop Rising Waters, have a pretty big mana advantage here. He's gonna. That's not how he's supposed to. Oh, he's gonna search for a Sergeant. The problem with that is I still get to kill the Sergeant. I mean, he does what he has to do, right? Masticore just... I remember, the specimen is broken. This card was just insane back in the day. So good. Alright, you have Defined Vanguard. And I'm about to play Winter Orb with Dynamo Voltaic Key. And eventually I'm going to get my Masticore back. Glad I didn't discard Rising Waters. Oh, nice. Alright. 3... 5... Definitely want the Rising Waters down. Now I can, in theory, play a Phyrexian Processor here. Only by tapping my lands, though. Feel like I'm better off. I can port him. Next turn I'm going to have, what, 3, 6, 7, 8. So next turn I can play Processor and activate it without having to use land drops. Okay, so we do the annoying Rashad and Port dance. Would you like to untap a land? Which one? Because I might have plans for it. Whee! Magic is fun! I think I should untap my port. What do you guys think? It's kind of funny. It doesn't actually do a whole lot, but what are you going to do? I mean, the annoying part here is that he gets to Parallax Wave my tokens. But that means... But I mean, I'm just going to have to plow through this Parallax Wave. What is he on? 12? Yeah, my mana is so much better if I just make a token now, too. I don't particularly want to tap any lands, so... The question is, how many life do I play? He's on 12. Could pay 6. Could just pay 4. I mean, I have to wait out this Parallax Wave. I mean, if I just make 4 4s, it's bigger than everything in his deck. And it leaves me with 10 life to play with. Yeah, I'm just going to make 4 4s. Yep. He does have giant growth in his deck. Wax Wanes anyway. +2. Could come up. Oh, I didn't know I was going to draw that. We got blue mana if I knew I was going to draw that. Yeah, the fact that I'm playing a port, I should have got blue mana. I probably played that wrong. At least I can start making tokens that are going to stick. Parallax Wave fades down to 5. I don't actually get my guy back until he fails to remove a fading counter, so... Mastercore comes back next turn. Probably not the most fun game of Magic in the history of Magic, but hey, let's think about... That's what you're going to get with a tour of historical standard decks, right? You're going to see all the most broken stuff. Yeah, he attacks into me, I get to make tokens and block. We're done. I do not blame Shadow. I think he has seen enough, have you?
I saw enough on like turn 3, but I thought, for the sake of everyone, I'd play out a couple of rounds first. But yeah, no, that matchup is ridiculous. I'm going to win exactly 0% of the times.
I'm sure your winning percentage is higher than actual 0%. I don't think it's double digits. I think your match winning percentage is in the single digits somewhere. I think it has a whole number at the beginning of it though.
It might have a whole number at the beginning of it. But you know what? I'm not going to play this game, simulated or not, hundreds of times to come up with a number.
We overlap by a block too. We both had Mercadian Max cards in our decks. Clearly, these decks lived at almost the same time.
No. Yeah, these decks are nearly identical in power level. Nearly identical.
All right, so Group A, we now have one match down. We know that Rebels will be at 0-1. Rebels will be playing an elimination match next when we get back to Group A. So it will be, 4 weeks from now. When we circle back to Group A, Rebels will be an elimination match. Tinker will be playing to make the playoffs next week. Good times. All right, nice match. Good job.
GG.